Good afternoon, good morning. It's Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you back to another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. In this series, we speak with leading brands about what they are seeing on the front lines of customer, channel, and brand loyalty. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Linsey Case. She's Associate Vice President of Marketing at Wings and Rings. So thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Perfect. We'd like to start these on a personal level, get to know the individual we're speaking with. So we'd love to know a little bit more about you, your role at Wings and Rings, and maybe, the jobs you've had before that kind of maybe similar, and also a fun fact about you, a passion you may have outside of work.
Yeah, sure. So I've been at Wings and Rings for about 9 years now. So prior to that, I was in marketing for a regional bank here locally. But other than that, I've pretty much always worked in the restaurant or the food industry. So my family had a pizza restaurant that I worked at starting in many people do. But then after college, kind of continued that trend by joining the marketing team of a local food manufacturer. So like I said, been in the food and restaurant industry pretty much all my life. And when I had the opportunity to join Wings and Rings, it was just a true natural fit. I'd known the brand for a long time. Having grown up in the Cincinnati area, and it's a Cincinnati-based company, I actually frequented several of their locations as a child. So, it was kind of just fun being a part of the growth and the evolution of the brand over the last 9 years. Having, I remember going on Wing Tuesdays to some of the locations out in Kentucky. So. Just been a fun ride. So currently I'm managing basically national and digital marketing. So that can include anything from our larger national initiatives around like Super Bowl, March Madness and stuff to digital campaigns that support our menu and our LTOs. But within there, I was also integral in launching our loyalty program back in 2019. So I'm still leading that overall strategy, which is, I think, why we're here today.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Wings and Rings, for those who may not be familiar, can you give us a rundown of what you guys do, how you do it, where the locations are, and it'd be great to know.
Yeah, so as you said, Wings and Rings, but formerly known as Buffalo Wings and Rings. So a couple of years ago, we did rebrand to the new identity, dropping the Buffalo. Probably assume there was a lot of confusion there in the marketplace with another competitor of ours. And, we really want to pride ourselves on our Wings and Rings, the two things that we do best. So we are a Cincinnati-based sports restaurant and bar franchise. We have about 85 locations globally, but about 60 of them are here in the US. So the franchise started back in 1984, but it was purchased by the current ownership in 2005. So, since they purchased the franchise, we've grown to about those 60 locations, spanning from, down in Florida, up to North Dakota, all the way out to California and South Texas, and then, of course, good concentration here in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So we really do pride ourselves just on those superior, crave-worthy Wings and Rings, and an atmosphere that encourages all fans to, relax and celebrate.
That's good. I know Wings and Rings recently launched a new consumer-facing website, which allows the process or enables the process to order wings easier for their customers. Can you talk a little bit about the website overhaul and kind of what that means to your customers?
Yeah, we knew we had an opportunity to update the website since it had basically not been updated in, about 7 years. So there was a back end opportunity and then a front end opportunity as well. And really, some of the points that you hit on was that we wanted to provide more opportunities for our guests to convert. So obviously, there's a reason and a need there from a sales standpoint, but really from a guest standpoint as well. Like the reason that they're coming to the site to begin with is to typically either find a location or look at the menu and place an order. So just being able to make sure that the things that they're coming to the site to do are always within reach was a big focus for the design of the site itself. But then also we wanted to make sure that we brought lots of prominence to our individual local pages. I mean, that's what guests are looking for, that location specific information, so that we made sure that was at the forefront as well.
Okay. Your loyalty program, can you tell us a little bit about the program that you launched, kind of obviously under your guidance? How do members engage with it? What are some of the benefits of the program? How do you keep it current as well?
Yeah, ultimately, when we launched it, we wanted to make sure that it was just simple and easy to understand, not only for our guests but for our servers, if they're trying to sell the program. So it's a points per dollar program. So it's a point for every dollar that is spent, and those points are automatically applied if you're ordering online and you're signed in, or if you're using the app. And then for in-store purchases, you just have to scan the barcode. So once you reach 100 points, that automatically converts to a $10 reward. So you can come in and use that on any food item that you'd like.
Okay, excellent. When you look at the rewards program, obviously the mobile app's very important. Roughly 80% of your customers access the Wings and Rings website from their mobile devices. So how does having a loyalty program and a mobile app, how do you get them to work together, right? To make sure that you're in the quote unquote right channel for the customers. How does that work within your organization?
Yeah, I mean, for the app, we wanted to have loyalty at the forefront. So, we're very upfront about that points tracking and how far along you are to that next reward. You can easily see what rewards you currently have.
Yep.
And then just the ease of use, being able to scan receipts to earn those points, ease of ordering within the application, and just being able to, quickly make your purchase, and then even place a previous order, replicating previous orders with pretty much the click of a button.
Okay. And the Buffalo Saucity, the VIP, I know. A lot to say.
Another training point.
I know it wasn't a name today. And how do you pronounce that? Saucity? Society. Yes, I would never have got that. But we should have asked that. So the VIP app, how does it work? You kind of touched a little bit. Is it you talk about having the rewards front and center so people can see and access them? How does the VIP app work?
Yeah, so it really just allows guests to really easily scan their receipts in store. It allows them to place orders really easily. It's a great way for us to just communicate through push notifications and inbox messages and things like that. And then the ease of online ordering and being able to replicate those previous orders and redeem rewards that they've earned, and then other ad hoc ones that we may have sent out as well.
Okay. So when you look at other technologies that you may want to kind of engage or involve with, are there other technologies or strategies that you're looking to learn more about or potentially leverage within the organization?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking at new and different things. Ultimately, what we want to make sure that we're doing when we're evaluating some of that new technology is to make sure that we're reducing friction with our guests. And just introducing technology when it's going to support their experience. Like, it has to solve a need. So we don't want to just, implement something for the sake of implementing something. So that being said, we're working on testing some additional features to reduce those friction points, such as mobile wallet. Doesn't necessarily apply to the app, but for online ordering, well, it certainly does apply to the app, but if you've got your information already saved in there, it's pretty easy already. But so things like mobile wallet, arrival notifications, and really just an overall enhanced ordering experience when it comes to the app specifically.
Okay. Can you the rewards program is a big piece of your personalization efforts, right? We have a growing brand membership. We meet every week, and we actually have a conversation this week around personalization, segmentation, cadence management, how to manage. So what does personalization mean to Wings and Rings? Especially, I think you have a surprise and delight offering as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So personalization for us is less about just including the person's name and maybe segmenting them based on their purchase history. While we do that a little bit, for us, personalization is a little bit more on their, segmenting based on their frequency, and then like re-engaging our lapsed users. So more on their behaviors of their visits versus what they might have purchased in that visit. So, making sure that it's meaningful to guests that do come more frequently, and meaningful for the guests that, and motivating for the guests that may have not been in as recent.
Okay. When you look at employee engagement, that's another area of great interest in our community. How does employee engagement fit into the customer loyalty discussion? How are employees trained about the program, the benefits of the program, and how do you keep them kind of engaged to do that?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned before with when we launched the program, we wanted to make sure that it was simple for not only the guests, but for our employees, because if we made something super complicated for our employees to try to sell, then we knew that it was never going to get off the ground. So, just keeping the program simple and easy to understand and also to explain is super important. It makes the training a lot easier. But we also encourage employees to participate. So some franchisees were like, oh, could employees really earn points on things? Well, absolutely. We want them to be in there using the app so that they can show guests the value and, be continuously talking to those guests about, the value of the program. You could earn points on your purchase today. Just download the app, scan right here, and, off you go.
Okay. Great deal of discussion within our community about brands, how they're changing, how the customers are changing, right? How they evolve. Going into COVID, there was a change, buying online, picking in store, hands-free delivery. What do you see in your customer base? How are they changing, and how are you adapting to those changes?
Yeah, I think COVID definitely sped a lot of things up. And for us, it was all about that off-premise and the convenience. So things like curbside carryout, pickup windows, stuff like that. Those are really changing the game for casual dining because we can provide that higher quality, more varied menu, but with the convenience of, what like some QSR and fast casual brands are doing. And I think, we all kind of got a taste of that ease of ordering and ease of pickup during COVID. And it's made a lot of folks change the way that they think about ordering from a casual diner or a full service restaurant.
Okay, excellent. When you look at other programs, customer loyalty programs, or just bigger picture customer loyalty, are there brands that you are loyal to, and if so, why are you loyal to them?
There are. I probably have about 9 food
Okay.
apps on my phone, but I'm also always kind of testing out new ones. But for me, it's actually a little bit less about the loyalty and more about the convenience piece for me. And I think I'm, guilty of getting acclimated to that through COVID and knowing how easy it could be to just, which apps are the easiest to navigate. And it's the whole experience, right? So it's not just ordering through the app. It's got to be easy for me to order. It's got to be easy for me to pay. And then the pickup experience as well. When you're hitting the mark on all of those things, the loyalty part is great, but so many of them, I've lost track of what a point means or what I'm even earning. And so if, I become more loyal to the brand and the experience than the loyalty piece itself, unless it is, super easy to understand and to remember, the simple earning structure, if you will.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting topic as well. There's a great kind of discussion around keeping or having programs be more simple, right? So you understand what the value, what it is, straightforward, kind of simplifying the programs to do that. And there's also this whole push of changing point structures, right? Valuing them more, valuing them less, some of the economy challenges. How do you keep your program simple in a way that's easy for the customers to understand?
Yeah, I mean, really the goal out of the gate was just to increase our guest frequency. So, there are different levers that we could pull to kind of gamify it and go off the path of our current point structure. But really, we do want to make sure that we keep it simple. When guests are close to their $10 reward, we make sure that we're nudging them along and letting them know they're only a few points away. Every message that we send out, it has like their stats at the top of the message, so they know how many points they have and how many rewards they also have.
Okay.
But we're always also, just monitoring what other competitors are doing so that we stay relevant. We do have a pretty lucrative program compared to some of our competitors.
Okay.
But we don't have any concrete plans to change the program right now, but are definitely keeping our eyes on, what's meaningful for our guests because they are pretty engaged in the program. And right now the focus is getting more people into the program.
Okay, excellent. And the last question I have is, what can Loyalty 360 do to help you and your team in your customer loyalty program efforts?
I think you guys are doing a lot of great things already, just getting people talking, sharing ideas, sharing struggles, and just kind of getting it all out there. I think that's what challenges us each day. And as long as we keep an eye on what the guests' needs are and come up with creative ways to solve those needs, then we're on the right track.
Great. Well, Linsey, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. It was great learning more about the program, what you guys are doing, how you're doing it, and also a little bit about you. And hopefully, maybe I'll even see you over here on the beachfront side of town
That'd
soon.
be great.
All right. Thank you, everyone else, for taking the time to listen. Make sure you join us back for another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series soon, and have a wonderful day.